Welcome back. I'm Kim Bailey. She's Fulyana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec. Today we're continuing our discussion with Ben Baker. We're talking about personal branding, and in this part of the discussion, we're going to look at what it means when you are looking to recruit someone for your team, or when you are on the other side of the table and being recruited for a particular organisation or a team. So let's join Ben and Fulyana in the discussion.
The next question that we had for you was about negative experiences, and we posed it in the sense of, do negative, in inverted commas, experiences contribute to your personal brand? So I think, because I've now looked at that chapter in the book, I think I've almost got the answer in my head, that the negative stuff will help you determine the things that you want to stand for. But let me hear what you've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, we all have negative things in our life. If anybody ever tells you that they were an overnight success and didn't fail and didn't have challenges, laugh at them and walk away, because they're not telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody in the world that is successful in any way, shape, or form that has not had challenges along the way. And I really believe it's the challenges that we face that make us better. It's the people that consider and say, well, that didn't work. Okay, why didn't it work? What could I have done better? What can I learn from this? And then move on. Those are the people that will succeed eventually. It's the people that realize that every failure is just a learning experience. And it may hurt. It may hurt your pride. It may hurt your pocketbook. It may hurt your reputation. But if you learn from it, and if you get better because of it, it's a valuable experience.
Yeah, everyone's a mentor in some way.
Absolutely.
We have a question here about how can team leaders in a corporate environment encourage personal branding of their own team members?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
So now we're looking at team leaders in a corporate environment.
Oh, team leaders. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so how do they encourage personal branding of their team members? How do they say to the team members, you've got to know who you are before you can contribute to this team, because the team's going to have a purpose and a focus that might be at odds with your personal branding?
Well, first of all, I love the fact that you use the term team leaders and not managers. I love the fact that we have leaders at all levels.
Yes.
Yeah. Because a leader is a person who inspires. And I think that a leader is someone who gets the best out of people. And getting the best of the personal brand is probably the number one thing that a leader can do, is to understand that everybody under their charge and everyone that they support is different. Each person comes to that office environment with a different set of baggage, a different set of ideas, a different set of ideals, different set of challenges, a different set of skills. And a great leader understands this and works to get the best out of each person, and inspire that person on their own, and show them how their particular work adds to the greater good of the company. And what they do matters. And I think that that's what a good leader does. A good leader shows people that they support how their individual effort matters, and how that it contributes to the greater good. And I think that that's the best part of a personal brand. Is a personal brand is understanding that this is who I am, but I'm also part of this team. And I have to use my skills to be able to make the team better.
Would you take that all into account even when you're hiring people to the team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's something out there called Strength Finders, which is a really neat online survey that people take. And what it does is it asks you 200-300 questions. I can't remember exactly how. And what it determines is, what are your top 5 strengths?
Right.
What are the top 5 strengths you have? And there's 32 strengths within this lesson plan, and they assume that here's your top 5. It doesn't mean that you don't have number 6 to 32. It's just, these are your top 5. These are the top 5 things you do well. And if you can sit there and hire for the skill sets that you don't already have within your group, that's a great leader.
Yes.
To sit there and say, okay, we're missing this skill set. We need somebody who's more analytic. We need somebody who's more divisive. We need somebody who's more who's going to actually stir the pot a little bit. And you go looking for these personalities, that are going to add to the mix and is going to make the team better.
Yeah.
When you're looking at developing your personal brand, or identifying your personal brand, I should say, and you are in a certain stage of your career and you feel like these are your strengths and this is who I am and this is the role that I want to carry out, and you get to a point where that isn't satisfying anymore in terms of the work, do you reassess your personal brand and move on to other things? What I'm thinking of is my own career, in that I worked for a long time with people and I got very tired of people and I had to stop and say, I don't want to work with people anymore. I'm tired. I'm worn out with people issues because maybe I was giving too much of myself into it, whatever it was. And I had to, at that point, think, well, what is it that I enjoy doing? And I went through that process. I said, these are my strengths, but I don't want to use those strengths anymore. Is there some way that I can go back and look at developing some of the other things that are not so strong? And does that then, in developing those, does that then become my personal brand?
I think we all morph as we get older. We all have different challenges, different sets, different things that go through. Our brand is our core beliefs. Our skills may change.
Yep.
Our skills may change. Like, whether we want to be an accountant the rest of our life, it's not just being an accountant. What are the core skills behind being an accountant? What are the things? You need to be analytical. You need to be a problem solver. You need to do things. And you may say, you know what, I still do enjoy doing those things, but I don't enjoy being an accountant.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look for other types of work that use those same strengths that we have to be able to do that. But in your particular case, to say, okay, I've been a people person my entire life. I've dealt with people, and now I really want to be somewhere where I'm dealing with things that are more analytical. You're just taking a different part of your personality.
Right.
Those were probably all part of your personality to begin with. It's just one part was more pronounced and one part wasn't.
And I think that's very true, and I really want to reinforce that as an idea for people to understand, because we're not good at self-analysis, and we do focus on the skills that we are using rather than anything else, and it is a very difficult concept to understand and to take on board, because recognising the skill set is easy because that's what we get paid to do, and thinking beyond that to what is it that we really can contribute in a longer term sense, regardless of what the activity is that we do. So thank you for continuing to make that clear for our listeners.
Yeah.
It's true, because just because you have a job, the question is, what are the skills within that job that you really like doing?
Yeah.
Take those skills and go looking for another type of job that is more in line with what you really want to do.
You can do that, but still uphold your personal brand side of things where your ethics are not compromised, for example.
Your ethics are still going to be your ethic. Yeah, your ethics are your ethics, and who you are at the core, what you believe and why you believe it are not going to change.
Yeah.
It's just the skills that you have are probably wider and more varied than you think they are. You just need to sit there and say, okay, I've been doing this job for so many years. What are the things that I've actually learned? What are the things that I actually do? Because I don't do accountant. I do certain skills that lead me to be good at being an accountant. But can those same skills be transferred to another job? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of communicating it more effectively.
Yeah. And really, the best example of that is if we look at people who call themselves serial entrepreneurs. They don't limit themselves to one particular industry or category or product, but they do bring a certain personal branding to everything that they do.
Well, what they do is they bring their belief structure. They believe that I'm going to succeed. I have the ability to succeed. I have the ability to look beyond what I see and see what's possible. I have the ability to bring the right people to the table to make sure that my venture will succeed. I have the ability to lead people. I have the ability to get people to believe in what I believe and to understand what people's needs are and be able to fulfill those needs. That's a serial entrepreneur.
And it's also a very good team leader.
Yes.
It can also be a team leader.
Yeah.
But it's just whether it just depends on what is your appetite for risk.
Yeah.
Yes. In that sense, if you are a team leader and you're liking what you're hearing that we're talking about today, is there opportunity for you to introduce the idea of a team brand?
Absolutely. Team brands are, quite healthy to have. It's just to sit there and say, how do we identify ourselves as a team?
Yeah.
What are of our division, of our group or whatever, how do we define ourselves?
Yeah.
How do we define ourselves? What are the, what's our subculture within our group?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that are important to us? What are the things that we laugh about together? What are the things we're willing to stand by each other for?
And does that mean that by doing that at the beginning of bringing a team together, or when you get a new team member coming in, does it lay the groundwork for that basis of ethics and beliefs and behaviours that are intrinsic to the team that might not necessarily match up with an individual's ones?
Well, that's what onboarding's all about.
Yeah.
When you onboard somebody into an organization, into a team, whatever, you need to get them to understand what is the team about, what is the organization about, what's the company about, and get them to understand this is what we do, this is what we believe in, this is how we do things, and it's hiring for the right fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just hiring for a job, it's hiring for, is this a person that we think can grow within the organization? Is this a person who believes fundamentally, not every little thing, but fundamentally the things that we do, that they believe that the growth of this company, they believe in the growth of this company, they believe in the growth of this division, they believe in the future. Hiring somebody just to do a job, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
You're going to have them for 6 months, a year, 18 months, they're going to get bored in tears, and then they're going to leave. You want to hire somebody where you can sit there and say, okay, here's the progression for you.
Do you see in the work that you're doing, the people that you're talking to, do you see that there is a generational difference in taking on the idea of personal branding?
I would say the younger people, the millennials and the Gen Z, are far more apt to understand personal branding.
Yep.
Unfortunately, a lot of them come to it from the influencer point of view, where it's the look at me. So they're looking at it from a how do I sell myself point of view. They don't look at it from a if I build a reputation, people will trust me. They look at it from a reputation of I've done this.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yes, I've been to this school, therefore I deserve.
And a lot of it is, is building that out, and it's getting people to understand that there's a progression. That yes, we're hiring you because eventually we want you to be the director of marketing or whatever, because that's why we hired you into this, and that's why we believe in you. But it's not going to happen in 6 months. But on the other hand, you have to explain to the person, look, to get to director of marketing, you need to go through this. We'll give you some training, we'll give you some direction, we'll give you some coaching and mentoring, but you have to prove to us that you're ready for each next step.
We have to know, like, and trust you.
Along the way.
Yeah.
Each step there has to be a know, like, and trust.
Yeah. So,
You hear that, or we get the Peter principle, and people are hired to their level of
incompetence,
incompetence.
yes, yeah.
True.
We have a lot of people listening who are both sides of the interview table, recruitment table.
Yeah.
For those who are recruiting people, and I think the answer is yes, but should they be asking of their interviewees, what is your personal brand? Just as bluntly as that?
I would think it's what's your personal brand, what's your story, what makes you valuable. It's along the same lines as this, tell me your story. Tell me your story, because I do some work at the universities, and we teach them interview skills, and we teach them networking skills. And we spend a whole day, once a quarter, up at the university, teaching these skills to second and third year university kids. And I will tell you that the majority of them, when you ask them, what's your story? What differentiates you? What makes you valuable? They can't answer it. They go, well, I took this course and I was part of this club and this. Yes, but what makes you valuable?
Yes.
Who are you?
Who are you? I want to know who you are as a person. Now, the problem is with all these software packages and analytics and all that type of thing that HR is using these days, a lot of the great people that don't have the right words in their resume are being negated.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
You know,
that
they're
problem.
not even being looked at because they may have the skill set, they may have the opportunity, but they haven't set up their resume that is specifically designed with the keywords that they're looking for that particular job.
Yes.
You know, which is a shame in some respects. I mean,
Yeah.
I know people, and you shouldn't do this, and I'm going to make that. They take the ad, they put it at the bottom of their resume, they put it down to 3-point font, and they put it white, and the software picks it up.
Ah.
That's hacking the system. But if somebody finds out you do that,
Yeah.
they're not going to hire you.
Yeah.
But it's looking at it that, you know, if we're constantly getting computers to do a human job, and a human's job is finding out, is this a human being in front of me, and is this the type of person we really should be hiring, then I think we've lost it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the table then, for those, and obviously you're talking to these people at the universities, for those who are being interviewed, they need to come to an interview prepared to share their personal brand. So they need to have thought about it beforehand, quite seriously.
Yes. And not only that, they need to say, how does my personal brand
Fit the-
benefit the company that I'm
Yeah.
going to interview with?
Yes.
That's
And,
good.
and what they're bringing to the table, what are they bringing to the organisation, not just
Exactly.
looking for a career within it.
You need to research the heck out of the company that you're going to interview with, down to the people who are going to interview you, down to their stock prices, down to what's going on within their organization, and sit there going, you know what, I learned this in university, I see that you're having this type of problem, I think that I can help with this because of this.
Yes, actually be focused on the value that you can provide. That's good. Good advice to be giving. We're almost out of time, Ben. We do have a question that we don't give you notice of that we're going to ask now. It's not a hard question, and I know that you're going to have a brilliant answer to it.
And
So it is, if we were having this conversation in 12 months' time, what would you like to look back on and feel that you had made some achievement if it had occurred?
Well, my goal is in the next 12 months is to be coming down to Australia to do a speaking and workshop tour.
Okay.
My goal is next August of 2020, to be in Melbourne and Sydney, possibly in Brisbane, and providing workshops on lead at any level and how to engage, retain, and grow your employees.
Right. Excellent work.
Yes.
We'll make sure that as soon as you let us know that's happening, that we tell all of our listeners as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People can get in touch with me through my website if they're interested, and I'd be happy to have those conversations.
Ben, is there anything that we haven't covered this morning, today, I should say, that you would like to add at this point?
I'm writing a new book. It's called Humanizing Your Corporate Brand.
Oh,
It'll
good.
probably be out in either summer or fall 2020. You talked about my podcast. I've been around. The podcast is called the Your Living Brand Live Show. It's been around for 2.5 years. And if anybody wants to listen to that, I'd love to have you, as part of my audience.
Yep.
Right now, my love is providing workshops and consulting. It's getting companies to understand and people to understand how do we communicate value.
Hearing you talk and explain it and reinforcing the ideas, regardless of how we come at the topic, has been a great help, particularly to me, because I had a different idea of what personal branding was, and so now I understand better what it is I need to be looking at when I go back to that chapter and fill out the blank form.
There we go.
Ben, thank you so much for making the time. We do hope that your health improves in the next couple of days.
It'll be fine.
You
It's
will.
Just, you caught me at the end of the cold. I feel fine. It's just that cough just won't go away.
And we do appreciate that you persevered under that pressure. Thank you for joining us, and all the best, and we hope that we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Ben.
See you. Thank you.
And there we have the end of our discussion with Ben Baker about personal branding. We have all of the links to Ben's information, his book and his website and his podcast at the bottom of this post. So please get in touch with him, listen to a bit more of what he's got to say, read the workbook or work through the workbook. But for now, I'm Kim Bailey. She's Fulyana Osborne. We've been talking with Ben Baker, and this is Inside Exec.